Hello, dear friends. As you can see, I'm not in my normal pose for this video, sitting in my comfy chair in my office. Rather, I'm in St. Louis at the moment, visiting my family and trying to put together a little reflection on the Feast of the Holy Family. I love this feast, coming after the Feast of St. John and the Holy Innocents as well. But the Feast of the Holy Family causes me to think about what it must have been like for Jesus, Mary, and Joseph to be a family in their home in Nazareth. Certainly a holy family. You can only imagine how Joseph had to work very hard to be as loving and kind and patient as Jesus, the child Jesus, and our Blessed Mother herself. But apparently he did quite well. He was a saint of a man. He trusted in God, and he was a great protector of his family. Sometimes I like to do imaginative prayer. I don't really just pray words. I go into a setting and I try to imagine what it must have been like. For example, at the crib, what must it have been like when Joseph and Mary held their little baby and all of a sudden people started coming to pay homage? It must have filled their hearts with wonder. And I try to imagine what that was like. And so also for the Feast of the Holy Family. What was it like for them to sit in their home around the table, sharing with one another, imagining what the future might hold? I like to pray like that sometimes. But for this feast and our gospel, that amazing gospel of the child Jesus, the family going up to the temple, Jesus staying behind, you can imagine the fear, the worry about Mary and Joseph wanting to find where their child is. And they get back to the temple relieved, of course, to find him there with the elders. They're stunned at his wisdom and knowledge. And they're simply relieved. Oh, thank goodness our child is safe and fine. He's okay. There's no harm that has come to him. But then that moment, as often happens in life, that moment of joy is touched by a certain kind of sadness. Because as you recall from the gospel, Mary says, "Son, how could you do this to your father and I? Don't you know that we would be worried?" And then those poignant words of Jesus, one of those swords that pierced her heart. "But didn't you know," said the child, the young man, "didn't you know that I must be about the will of my Father?" Indicating that it would only be a matter of time before he would leave their home, and they would have to let him go. And it was going to lead to a very unexpected future. Who could have imagined what this would have led to? Sometimes life is like that for parents. I think about parents, my own family, parents having to let their children go. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't know if they're going to make mistakes. They don't know if they're going to make good choices or if the lives they choose is going to be in harmony with the way they were raised. But parents have to let go, and that's got to be a very difficult thing. There's the joy at seeing your children grow and develop and become young adults, but then there's the sadness at having to let them go. And even sometimes that sadness is mixed with a little sorrow because of the nature of the choices our children make. It's all part of being a parent, I suppose. And I have great admiration for all the mothers and fathers who love their children so very much, and then let them go, let them make decisions, go on their own. It's got to be very hard. It takes a lot of faith, just as it took a lot of faith for Joseph and Mary, even as they returned from the temple to their home. And the scriptures tell us that the child grew in grace and wisdom. He really flourished, being prepared to go out and proclaim the kingdom, leading him even to the cross. But the parents embraced that future. They walked with him, and then they had to let him go. So on this Feast of the Holy Family, I certainly want to join you to pray for families. Our nation depends upon good, loving, solid, faith-filled families. May God bless us all as we try to raise our children in good environments, in environments filled with faith and wisdom and kindness that can be so different than what the real world is like out there sometimes. And let's pray for parents that they have the courage and the ability to be the best that they can be as they raise their children. So on this Holy Family Sunday, may God bless our dear families, our parents living and deceased, our brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, cousins galore. God bless all of our families, and may God bless you. And let me take this opportunity also to wish you a very happy new year, with many, many blessings in this year that will unfold before us. May it be a year of peace, peace of mind, kindness, charity, and love. God bless you all.